What's up, guys? It's your boy j.Pin, co-host of LaMay Day Limelight. I am coming to you live from self-quarantine. I hope everyone's staying safe, and just letting you guys know that the episode you are about to watch was recorded before the quarantine mandate. So just wanted to make light of the content we already had to give you and to still celebrate International Women's Day. We hope that you're all staying safe. We really miss you guys. Thank you for being so supportive. Everyone at LaMay Day is doing their due diligence by practicing social distancing, washing their hands, and yeah, that whole bit. So tune in, support us, and we'll continue to give you content, even if it's in a new format. Stay tuned for what we have to offer. Sharíck, I'm passing it over to you.
Thanks so much, j.Pin, and shout out to all of you Limelighters and creatives and individuals going through such a weird, hectic, crazy, and confusing time. I just wanted to extend out my prayers and well wishes for all of those who are affected, which is all of us. So yeah, everything that j.Pin said, plus I just want to also reiterate that I'm hoping that everybody is really focusing on their mental health and wellness and taking this time to relax and re-synergize and recenter themselves, because it is highly important. And at least not forget that it is still International Women's History Month. So got to give a shout out to my girl Holly of Rocked by Holly and all the amazing women entrepreneurs and all the creatives that are out there struggling right now because we're not working. But again, use this time wisely, meditate, be peaceful, be mindful, and be blessed that we now have this time to take this pause and reflect. So this episode is coming to you right now. Welcome, everybody. It is your favorite duo, Sharíck LaMay and j.Pin.
You know what it is.
And you are watching LaMay Day Limelight. How you guys doing? It's International Women's History.
It is International Women's History Month.
Say it right.
It is Women's History Month.
It's all about the ladies.
Yes. Celebrate your queens. Yes.
So, how do you celebrate?
Well, I feel like I celebrate year round. Like I'm an inner feminist. Like I love women. I love to see women in power. I like to see women empowered. So I think it's just something that I acknowledge. I acknowledge the strong women in my life and the people that I look up to. Like year round, all the time. So this month is just kind of like an amplified version of that by just getting to really help put those names out there.
Okay. Now this may surprise you. But I don't really identify as a feminist.
No.
Okay. And for many reasons. I actually wrote a very deep article about this back in college that got a lot of reviews. I had a expose on my Afrocentricity versus feminism.
Yes.
And how do I decide, if I have to decide, which one to get behind, and I would choose my Afrocentricity. And so it kind of ruffles a little bit of feathers. But I have some mixed feelings about feminism. I'm all for celebrating womanhood and woman entrepreneurs. For me, I don't know. It's tough because I'm all for it, but then I know the history of the feminism movement and how
it benefits white women.
It benefits Caucasian women. And so I think that there's still a lot of issues pertaining to specifically Black womanhood that haven't been necessarily addressed, or that they tend to kind of look past and don't really pay too much attention to, or they try to put us all in the same category when we're really not.
It's not. When I think of feminism, I think of it more internally versus like a commercialized kind of way that feminism is kind of used. Not kind of, but the way feminism is portrayed. Because if you look at like the gender gap and equality of pay, men and women is one thing, men and white women one thing, men and Black women another thing, men and Latino women something totally different. So the fight and the struggle is different between all of those groups, of the intersections, and so it's like the feminism that we see on TV and stuff, it's really a lot of it, 90% of it almost caters to the benefit of white women, Caucasian women.
Yeah, and I think until they're able to really get behind the struggle, until they push the agenda as far as equality for Black and Latino women, then there really is no feminism movement, because that's it at its core. Like, we are at the bottom of the totem pole. And also too, because I feel as though
in a way, they try to separate us from our black men. And to me, you know, the separation of family and the separation of, you know, of our community is not good. You know what I mean? So I can be with you, Susie. You know, I can rock with you to a certain extent. But but I mean, Susie, you can't do for me what my man can. So therefore, we have to figure this out.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit, what women in Hollywood or in just whatever industry, it can be like, you know, an entrepreneur or the tech industry or whatever, like what women do you like look up to and admire?
So I know she's been getting a lot of flack lately, but I've always looked up to Oprah. And within, you know,
that's fair.
Yeah, the context.
She's having a bad press moment now, but which she has never had, mind you. So kudos to her for going this long without being canceled.
But again, there's that whole thing. You know, does she identify more as a feminist, or is she really for the culture? Is she really celebrating her blackness? And so that can be a part of that conversation. But I've always loved, you know, what she does, and then I know of things that she's done for the community, and you know, I know where her heart really lies. I don't agree with everything. I think it's okay to not agree with everything that you know, with the people that you look up to and have a critical eye. But aside from her being the obvious, you know, like the Ava DuVernays, and you know,
she's one of my favorite stories. Her and Issa Rae.
We just met Issa Rae.
Yeah, we did. We just met Issa Rae. I love Issa Rae. I love Ava DuVernay. I like good storytellers.
Yes.
So those two women in particular, I really admire in Hollywood.
Who else?
America Ferrera.
Yes.
She's the only Honduran American woman that I know in Hollywood. I'm Honduran American, and I remember when I learned about her in the first movie she did, Real Women Have Curves.
Yes.
And I found out that she was Honduran, and I remember being really young, and I was like, oh my God, she's like me. Like, it was cool to see myself.
Yeah.
You know, to see somebody who could relate to the same upbringing that I had.
Yeah.
So I really like her. Mindy Kaling, I think, is hilarious. You know her from The Office and The Mindy Project.
Yeah, I like Mindy.
She's just so funny to me.
Well, she's just herself.
Yeah, exactly. She's
like
herself. I think she's a good storyteller, a good producer. Let me see. I don't know. There's so many women. Oh, Tracee Ellis Ross.
Oh yeah, that's my girl.
Are you kidding me?
I love her.
Reese Witherspoon, who we just
saw her
met
too.
this weekend. There's a lot of dynamic women in Hollywood that I think are doing some really new things, some really cool things. And quite frankly, I love the narratives that these women are pushing, particularly for women of color. And everything that they stand for. I also want to shout out to trans women and the women of Pose who are on that show and creating a platform for that community. It's just, I love Women's History Month, and I love celebrating women from all backgrounds, from all cultures, and just seeing them empowered, because I pay attention, and you know, historically we know men have oppressed women for centuries. So
and
it's
women
just,
are the trendsetters.
Yeah, and it's been trending for people to say, you know, oh, femme the future, the women are the future, but the future is now.
Right.
Women are now.
Right.
And we're starting to see that, and we're starting to see empowered women become leaders and really sell their platforms, sell their narratives to young girls, telling them that they can achieve and do just as much that a man can, if not more.
Right. I'm ready to see more unification.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's happening. So
absolutely.
I'm excited about that. And I'm all for women in business. Because I'm a woman in business. I got my girls that are women in business. And that's the next thing, I think. I want to see more women billionaires.
Yeah.
That's what I'm ready for.
Definitely.
And we're going to do it, okay?
Okay.
So, which leads me into our guest that we're going to have coming up. I love her to death. She is Holly. She's one of the really, really good friend of mine. She's talented. She's amazing. She's an entrepreneur. She's a boss.
Bing, bing, bing.
And we're just going to talk to her about Rocked by Holly, which is her nail care line, and just everything that she has going on. So we're going to get into it right now.
So we want to welcome a beautiful entrepreneur, Holly by Rocked by Holly. And you better come
Welcome to the limelight. Wait, mine's not done.
Look, yes. Girl, I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so my name is Holly. I've been doing nails since 1998. Yes, I've been doing nails for a minute.
She's a veteran.
Been doing this thing for a minute. And it's always been my passion. Like, I've always enjoyed doing nails. So when I was younger, I used to get the little press-on nails and glue them on and, you know, do little nail designs. Because my dad was like, listen, you need to know how to do this because spending money like this every 2 weeks to get your nails done, you need to do it yourself or get a job so you can pay for it yourself. So I was like, well, I'll learn how to do it both. And get a job.
Right.
So I did both.
Listen. Okay.
Did both. So from there, I used to watch this lady do my nails as I got like in high school. And I was like, I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
And so she was like, you want to do nails? I was like, yeah, I think so. So she would let me just come to her shop and watch her.
Okay.
So after school, some days I would just go watch her. Sit with her and just watch and just watch and just watch. So that's how I really got into it. My mom, she did hair. So I've always been in the industry. I've always been around it. So fast forward, I started doing nails. Like one of probably the first salons I worked at was like a day spa. It was inside of Crown Center. And I was just sitting there one day. I was like, yeah, I want to do like nails for the stars. I don't see myself living in Kansas City forever. I want to move to LA. I'm going to eventually go to LA, blah, blah, blah. And so people at work, they'd be like, girl,
hating on your dreams.
You want to do nails for the stars? I was like, yes. My friend was like, girl, you going to run up on Oprah. She going to, her security going to attack you. You going to run up with a nail file. They're going to attack you. I'm like, girl, listen, I'm going to do some nails. I'm going to do some celebrity nails. So my very first celebrity client was Luther Vandross.
Oh, wow.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Luther.
Yes. And it was amazing. I did a couple tours with him, and I was just doing manicures for him and his, his girls, his backup singers, and then that was it. And then from there, his people would just refer me out. Okay. So once I finally moved to LA, it just kind of took over. I met this one guy. His name is Anthony Cherry. He does hair, and he introduced me. He gave me like my first like video here in California in LA, which was an Ashanti music video. So I worked on that video, and then I was like, okay, I can do this.
Keep them coming.
Okay.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Manifest.
So, yes, I kept manifesting. So I actually wrote down a list of people that I wanted to work on. So actually, I have probably hit, I want to say, the majority of the people on my list.
See, and we talk about that, writing down your goals.
Yeah. So I wrote down a list of women that I would like to work with. I was like, oh yeah, I want to work with some girls on Love and Hip Hop. So I wrote down the girls that I would want to work with. So I've worked with both of those girls. I said I wanted to work with K. Michelle. I worked with her for years. Worked with her for years. I get excited when I go back to old clips because all of my work is on her shows, like the intros. I'm like, oh, that's my name, that's my name. And so I was like, oh, I want to work with Hazel. I like Hazel. I've never had a problem with her. Worked with her. Have a great relationship with her. So who else did I name? I was like, oh, Kelly Rowland. I love Kelly. She's so sweet, super sweet. She was definitely on my list. Jennifer was definitely on my list. I worked with her. I put Marjorie Harvey on my list. I've worked with her.
Hey now.
So I see it coming to
fruition.
Yeah. It's like, it's very exciting, and I'm very happy about what I do. So I was like, okay, let me switch it up. Let me try something different. I know what kind of products I like. I know what I like the nails to look like. So I was like, I'm gonna come up with a product line myself. So for me, my very first product line is Rock by Holly.
Rock by Holly. Yeah. Now this is not for like your everyday consumers. No. This is for like the nail techs, the pros.
This is the.
So what made you make that decision instead of just coming out with a nail polish that anybody can use?
Well, I figured if I give nail professionals a great product to work with. That would definitely help, because there's so many products that's out there on the market that are not really good for us. So I wanted to create something that was somewhat healthier. Now let's be realistic. It is chemicals. So let's be realistic. But it is a healthy.
It's safer.
It is. It's definitely safer. I took my time with it. It took me 2 years just to really put it all together and to come up with my formula. Yes, and so I started with gel. I really started with my glitter line.
Now pause. because I'm gonna pump you up. I'm gonna big you up real quick. Now, this lady was one of the first ones to really do it with the glitter nail, the all glitter nail. She did that. It was all her. Okay. Period. Okay. And continue.
She gonna do my nails.
That's right. So I was like, oh, well, let me come up with glitter. So I came up with a glitter line. Now, these colors I have mixed myself. So you can't go buy this color off the shelf. Like, I put the colors in there myself. So each color I mix myself. So they're all like hustle inspired.
Okay.
So the pink one is called Hustle.
Okay.
This pink, the coral one's called Go Getter.
Okay.
This yellow is Here She Comes.
Oh.
I like
the
that.
green is called Run Me My Money.
Hey!
The blue one is called Cloud 9. And the purple is Push Through Purple.
Okay.
Then we have the gold. This one's called Success. And then the clear white one is called Take It Off.
So why these names? What made you decide to do these types of names?
Well, I felt they was just, motivation. You know we gotta hustle.
Yeah.
We know we gotta push through. We know we gotta be go-getters. We know we want to be successful. We want our money.
Yeah.
We can be on cloud 9 from time to time.
Yeah.
Right.
And we all want to be successful. And
Yeah.
at the end of the night, we want to take it off.
It makes sense because we handle business with our hands. We
Right.
talk with our hands. We type.
That's how you interact.
Yeah, that's how you interact. So like it's almost like kind of like words of affirmation.
Yes.
You're putting into your fingertips.
Absolutely.
I love it. I think it's so smart. That's a great concept.
Yes.
So that was my very first thing. So I was like, let me start with my glitter because a lot of people love my glitter, and that's what I've been known for, is to do like glitter sets. So that's what I started with, the glitter, and then I moved on to like a poly gel system and gel base coat and top coat, and I have brushes.
Really cute.
I love that.
Hell yeah.
Hello.
I just want to play with it.
It's really.
And then what is this here?
So this is the packaging.
Okay.
So
the detail. Okay, you guys. The detail, and we're big on branding and cohesiveness and just everything. Just the Rocks by Holly with the black and the glitter. It works.
I wanted it to be professional, and I wanted it to look professional.
Yeah.
For you specifically, because we know, let's be serious. Anytime you go to a nail shop, typically it's not one of us in there doing nails. You know what I'm saying? And we know. We know. So tell me how that has been for you, being a Black woman in the nail care industry. What has been the feedback you received, or what has been some of the hurdles that you had to overcome?
Well, I would say, again, like you said, I'm a Black woman, and typically you see, Asian women in a salon working. That's typically their thing. But I don't really let that bother me. I'm in my own lane. I merge when necessarily, typically with a blinker. If not, if I merge without a blinker, it's a problem.
Okay.
But, I don't worry about like competing with other people. I get that a lot. People are like, well, do you feel like you're competing with the shop down the street? I'm like, well, no. I'm like, well, why not? I'm like, well, they can't do what I do. And people are like, well, how? Well, I really feel like they cannot do what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
You
I have a sense of agency.
Yeah, and I've educated myself. I've taken classes. I've done continuing education. Like, people just think they just do nails. No, I go and take trainings. Even now.
Right.
Even though I've been doing nails 20 plus years, I still will take a course.
Yeah. It's an entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah, and I was working for a company called Young Nails. I worked with them for probably like 6 years, and we did teaching. So I taught classes with them. So I learned a lot from them about just teaching and mentoring other professionals within the industry. So that's like my biggest thing. Like, I like to uplift women.
Yeah.
Right.
And eventually my goal is, hopefully, like, I really would like to put like a really dope little shop like in the hood.
It's happening.
I definitely,
It's happening.
that's what I would want us to have, like a special little gym that all women can go to.
Yeah.
But just to say, this is Black owned by a woman and it's successful. So I feel like that's very important.
Yeah.
And it gives other girls and women something to be like, oh, okay, I can do nails too.
Right.
Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't know Black girls did nails. I'm like, yeah.
Hello.
Hello, here I am.
Yeah.
So I just look at it in that perspective. Like I just really stay focused on myself, and I was raised that way. Like I can't worry about what Kelly and Susan and Amy are doing. I can't worry about them, because if I'm constantly worried about them, I won't be successful. Right. So I have put all my time and energy into myself and into my business.
What would you say were some of the struggles of being an entrepreneur as a whole? Like, you have this concept, you have this idea, but what are a couple of like the real things that you're like, man, that was one thing I really needed to get over that like was really stuck? Like, what's a piece of advice you could give to somebody who wants to do something like this?
I would just say make your mind up and like really stick to it. Like I still struggle. Yeah. You know, my thing is content. Like people are like, you need to post. I'd be like, like, oh my God. And what am I going to say? What is this caption? Like literally if I'm trying to post a picture, it'll take me like half the day, because I'm like, what's this caption supposed to say? What hashtags do I need to use? So it's different now, because when I started in the industry, it wasn't social media. You didn't have all this. So for me, really putting my time and energy into my social media. So like that's what I'm really working on now. So I would tell anybody that's getting into the industry, you know, make sure you have plenty of content. You know, take pictures, shoot little videos.
And you've also been educating yourself on that as well, not just in the nail care industry. She takes classes regarding marketing and social media. Like she's well-rounded within her education, and I think that's key, is for people to realize that like it's not just your product, you have to know how to market it. You have to know how to
turn it into a business.
Keep up with the
different facets of it. It's not just creating the product.
The product, and that's another thing that I'm working on too. So that's, you know, the marketing aspect. And I've been really blessed and, you know, very blessed to have the clients that I have. One of my other clients that I really enjoy is Karen Silva. I've learned so much from her. You know, she is like foot to the pavement. Like I've watched her work and it's like, dang, I was like, okay, do this and take some notes. Now it's just me really putting it into action. You know, I got the material.
You do.
Now
and it's packaged
very nicely. So where can everybody find you? Let them know, you know, what do you have coming up?
Okay, so everything can be found on my website. It's Rocked by Holly. And
so tell your nail tech
to
get rocked by Holly.
To get rocked by Holly. And even, believe it or not, I have clients that have moved and they'll buy my product and take it to their new nail tech.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So like even some of my friends, like they might not even live here, and I'll send them like glitter and base coat and top coat because they want their tech to use my product. So
and that's good business, because that might introduce the product to another nail tech and they might really enjoy it and want to order and you know, bring it to their shop. That's dope.
Exclusive. Yes. Well, you're gonna find her website right here. Make sure you check it out. You go check out her products, check out her in general, because she's a dope entrepreneur and it's International Women's History, but we're making history now, okay?
Right now.
Period.
Yes, so make sure you're checking her out. Of course, we're always going to be checking in and making sure she's doing amazing things, because she's part of the family. You get me?
She's going to do our nails for the next episode.
I am.
I haven't got my nails done and stuff, but she be talking about me.
Why?
Me and my nubbins. She calls them my nubbins.
But I'm going to give her some nails. Because this time, she's not doing nothing. She's not doing too much. You know, she working hard, but she not
I gotta
doing
get it together.
Yeah. She talk with her hands. She's got to have beautiful hands.
I do. Thank you. All right. Well then, thank you so much for coming and educating us on Rocked by Holly. Again, make sure you check out her. You gonna steal the brush?
It's just so pretty.
I'm Sharíck LaMay, and this is my co-host
j.Pin. You know what it is.
Make sure you're liking and following LaMay Day Limelight. Subscribe to all of our information, all of our channels, and we love you guys. Have an amazing Women's History Month. We'll see you next week. Bye. I'm gonna play with it now. Oh, it's soft.
It's soft.